Hello, everyone. It's Friday and it's December. That means the end of the year is upon us. We thank you for joining Chat with Mac. It's been a full year of crazy stuff, but we're at the tail end of it. So thank you for joining us. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that continue to watch us and always giving feedback, thank you for your feedback. That's huge for us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, Nadeem, how's it going, sir?
Oh, going pretty good. So, interesting thing you bring up feedback because I'm thinking, people have probably noticed some changes in the kind of communication we send out, and that's based on customer feedback and feedback from the field. A few times I met with a few business owners, and one of the things with the way the world is right now, the overall theme that I got was that, hey, we have a lot of users working from home. They're using their home machines. Can you cover some little things that people can do on their own to make sure that their machines are running well?
Yeah.
And so the last few mailers that you probably saw, that people saw out there, they had some tips and tricks so I'm going to do more of those because these are some of the things that people can do on their home machines. The corporate machines are already covered. Your corporate IT is probably already doing that, but on home machines, corporate does not have any oversight. So some of these things are good to do on your home machines, and these are non-destructive things that you can do. So the one that I did, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, was about scanning Windows files for corruption. Not a lot of people do that, and it's one of those things where about 80% of the time when we scan machines, we find some sort of corruption. It's very easily fixable, but if you don't fix things like this, over time, more and more files get corrupt. The machine starts to run slower and slower. You start having weird issues, stuff that's just kind of funky, like glitches here and there that are random. And it's because either there are, cross-linked files, corrupt files, the system is thinking space on the drive is taken up when it's really not taken up by a file. So weird things happen, files get cross-linked, all these weird things happen. And it's when we run maintenance on customer machines, like all of our fixed cost customers, what we do is we automate these processes. So we run them on a weekly basis. We check for patches. We run maintenance on the drives. Maintenance includes getting rid of temp files, running system scans for any cross-linked files, any disk corruption. And then if we find disk corruption, then we escalate that. So one is, we find disk corruption, we try to fix it. If the automated system fails to fix it, then it needs to get escalated to a human. Then a human needs to get involved and dig in to find out what happened and how can we fix those files. There's been situations where we've had machines where we've had to install files, good files from Windows installation disks, or download an image of Windows and pick out the files from there because the files were so bad that we couldn't just repair them. They had to be replaced. And then once you replace them, you run the scan again, boom, everything passes and you're good to go. But the thing is, you need to run this on an ongoing basis. And corporate machines, no problem, but I do know that on home machines, a lot of users, they've never done this. They turn on their machine, they log into their office machines, and away they go. They never even think about the protections they need to have on their local machine to make sure that the data on the corporate machine is protected. So that's why you're seeing some of the different things that are coming out, and a little bit of difference in the kind of communications that we're sending out. And this has been one of the big requests that I've heard from the field. Talking to people that, hey, give us something that our users can use on their personal machines, so their personal machines are running in ship shape.
So, and it's funny you should say that. I'm having a problem with my machine. It's very timely that we talk about that. You talk about cross-linked files. What exactly is that? Because I've heard that before, and I've wondered where I know for a fact I saved a specific file, and now it's like, where the hell did this thing go? Or one file is named something different. I'm like, wait a minute, I know I'm getting old. I'm 45, but I know for a fact I didn't name this that. I mean, what is that? What Crosslinked did, or is this something else in general?
No, so Crosslinked is something different. However, it is a form of disk corruption. If
Okay.
Here's the main problem why this is very widespread on a Windows machine. Windows operating system itself is a very chatty operating system. And what I mean by that is it is always writing and reading a lot of stuff in the background on the hard drive. And that's why over time you get a bunch of temp files built up. You get a bunch of these files built up. When, if everything is good in an ideal world, when a temporary file gets created, when the program is closed, that file should be removed. But Windows world is not an ideal world. So what happens is, during the course of a day, Windows creates and deletes more than 1,000 files that you don't even know about. You open up Word, there's like 10, 12 files that get created on the back end just to open that blank Word document. And then when you close Word, all these files need to be deleted. Well, if one file gets missed because system was busy or something got hung up, one file gets missed. Now that file is sitting there, or it gets partially deleted. So, in one part of the disk, it deletes that file, but the file is still taking up blocks on the drive, right? Or the blocks are removed, but the table that keeps track of where the files are still has an entry for that file. So those kind of things over time build up, and they just cause problems, and they start slowing things down. Now, in the old days, we used to have hard drive lights on machines. I know new laptops don't have them anymore, but we used to have hard drive lights on machines. And I remember when I first started working with computers, and this was back in the day of Windows 3.1, I believe. We went from DOS to Windows 3.1. So DOS was fine, right? You run DOS, and it is what it is. It's not doing anything in the background. It's not multi-user. It is what it is. And then when Windows 3.1 came out, I remember everybody started noticing that you're not doing anything in Windows. It's just sitting there, but you can see the hard drive just going crazy. It's like, what the hell's going on? So the thing is that Windows is just very chatty, and it's always creating and deleting files, and this is what causes issues down the line. It's gotten better with SSDs just because the read and write speeds are so much better, but it's still a problem. We don't see a lot of this problem on like Mac OS or Linux operating systems or things like that. We didn't even used to see a lot of this on the old DOS machines. There was a host of other problems with DOS, but not this. In Windows, this is an ongoing issue, and the bigger problem with Windows is that sometimes when disk corruption occurs, you cannot fix that disk corruption without taking some drastic, deep measures like downloading installation files, extracting them, putting them in the proper place, because there's just so much corruption. So and in my mailers, I don't go that deep into tips and tricks, because what I try to stick with is things that end users can do. Downloading an image, extracting files from an image, that's not something that I would recommend somebody with no experience do. So I don't put that in our newsletters, and I don't want people to try to do that, because I don't want them to end up cleaning up everything off their hard drive and then the machine not boot. So So the thing is, if some of these scan utilities give you some issues that they're not able to solve, then the course of action would be you escalate it to an IT person. Hey, my system is giving me this error. I've got these issues with these files. Can you guys come in and fix them? And kind of go with that. So yeah, that's. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it just hit me, and I don't know if the rest of the audience has thought about this. How often should we delete temporary files? Is that something that I don't think that's done automatically. And sometimes I look, I'm like,
yeah, it's not automatic. It's not automatic. So I'm a little OCD, right? So I do it like once a week, but that's excessive. And I know it's excessive, but I am what I am, right? So
right.
So I would say one of the mailers I sent out, there was that I talked about, or I put instructions on how to run a disk cleanup manager in Windows, and this is a utility that comes with Windows. You need to run that at least once a month. No, it's not defragging. It's not defrag, right? So the with most machines have SSDs already in them, so you don't need to defrag them. And if you do have a regular platter drive or a hard drive, then your Windows is probably already set to automatically defrag anyway. That's not the problem. Defragging is not going to get rid of temporary files. So to get rid of those temporary files, you need to run Disk Cleanup Manager, which is a slightly different utility. And I think Monday or something like that, when I mailed out that tip. So you want to run that utility, and you want to go through the steps that I talked about, and let it run, and it will clean out your temporary files, not only just the program temporary files, but it'll also clean up temporary files that Windows updates leave behind. So you will see that over time, your hard drive just gets eaten up, because not that you're installing a lot of programs or have a bunch of data on the drive, but because Windows updates is just eating up your drive. I mean, something happened and it just wasn't able to clean up the stuff it downloaded. So now it has installed the files in the right place, but the downloaded files are still sitting there, and they just keep building up over time. So when you run disk cleanup, it will get rid of those files as well. And that's what we want to do to make sure that you have the most available space and programs are not just eating up space.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually looking this up now as Nadeem was speaking, because I'm pretty sure I'm about 100%. Oh my God, yeah. yeah. I'm going to do that after the end of the day and get this going. That's wow. That's a lot. I don't think I've done this since I even got this. Wow. Okay. See, this is why I love doing this, because there's stuff I don't know. As much as I love computers, this is the type of stuff that you really don't know. So
yeah, and you have to be in IT. I mean, you could be very familiar with computers but not know to do this, because you're not a tech. I mean, you're not working in IT. You're using computers. You're a user, but you're not a tech, and there's a difference. It's almost like I've seen some very good programmers. They're very good at creating and making programs, but they don't do any maintenance on their machines. And when y'all look at their machines, and I'm like, what is this trash? Why your machine is so messy? Why? Because they just don't know. So ladies and gentlemen, look out for these. I'm going to do some more of these just because it helps out a lot of remote people. And in this day and age, a lot of people are still working remote, and we want to make sure that everybody's machine is running ship shape. So keep an eye out for that. We'll do some more. And if you have any ideas on what you want me to write about or make videos about, let me know, let Mac know, and we'll make it happen.
Yes, we will.
Yep. So with that, I think we'll call it a day, Mac. You have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Bye.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.